Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about why every single fucking Democrat in the Ohio General Assembly currently needs to be arrested for what happened on December 13th, 2022, the Insurrection Act that their fucking piece of shit Democrat voter base committed 2 days ago. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that. In fact, we're going to do that as our lead story right the fuck now, actually. So, for those that haven't heard about that one, you had this bullshit happen 2 days ago, and the fucking Ohio House Dems literally put this on their fucking Twitter account here. If Republicans ignored the voice of Ohioans in committee, the people will show up and demand to be heard, chanting, "Our ballot, our voice, no on HJR 6. And this is what these jerk-offs were doing there. And you can tell right here in this upper deck there with the red shirts, all fucking moms demand action, fucking cunts. How is this not an insurrection, dude? How is this not the exact same thing that the fucking Democrats at a federal level want to bitch about with January 6th? Why is every single fucking person that was there bullshitting and shouting down an actual, by definition, General Assembly fucking meeting, committee, hearing, House floor votes, etc.? You are literally interrupting government affairs at that point. How is every single one of these people not being arrested, dude? Why is there not dozens and dozens of Ohio state police officers there slapping the fucking cuffs on these fucking cunts? It's fucking bullshit, dude. I'm so fucking sick and tired of this goddamn double standard in this fucking country, dude. Every single one of those pieces of shit should be arrested, dude. And I'll tell you who they fucking need to start with, honestly, because we're going to grab up the other one we have here. It needs to be, let me go ahead and find this one, because there was one here a little bit ago. Damn it, I know there was one here. I just literally clicked on the chick's name a minute ago. Yeah, Tammy Wilson, Democrat that was trying to run for U.S. Congress against Jim Jordan. This bitch needs to be arrested first. Let me go ahead and screen share a shot of her here. Because she was literally there with cameras rolling, mind you, the other day. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, right there is one of them. Her, like, seriously, use this fucking footage. Use the footage that she's giving you right here, dude, to arrest these fucking hoe bags and put them in the Ohio prison and make sure that they never have voting rights again in this country. Because that's what needs to happen to these fucking people, dude. They want to sit here and fuck with our constitutional rights. They want to sit here and fuck with our voting rights. No, it's time to strip their fucking voting rights at this point, dude. It's a bunch of bullshit entirely, dude. And I was trying to see the one that okay, there was one there. Another one there. This is the one. Yeah. Show me what a democracy looks like. This is what we're a fucking constitutional republic, you stupid fucking cunt. I'm actually going to call her on that one. We're a constitutional republic, you dumbass. Just going to call her big dum-dum. Understood that you wouldn't be committing an insurrection act. On camera. So yeah, seriously. Arrest Tammy Wilson first, dude. And use her dumbass fucking thing to arrest the other 20 or 30 dipshits that were there that day, man. You know, all shit like this is going to do right here, man. All this kind of shit is going to do is going to force the General Assembly to never allow people in it ever again, dude. If you're not there to testify, you're not going to be allowed to be part of it, dude. We got any no talking about Antifa here. Really want to behave like a fascist in the 21st century in America, you got to call yourself an anti-fascist. Yep, pretty much. Trans activists ambush lesbian feminists. Wow. Fucking ridiculous, dude. But, yeah, going on to talk about some other stuff here, going back to the Ohio thing here. Got a bunch of different things I want to talk about when it relates to various things here in this particular responses I did to people is what it was here. So you got this first one here to some jackass trying to be a fake Trump, fake Elon Musk here. When I talked about Democrat gerrymandering, he said, gerrymandering is how the GOP controls Ohio citizens. No, that's how we vote in this state, you dumbass. You clearly don't know anything about voting, number one. So they should pass the voter rights bill. The GOP is on survival mode, and without cheating for the vote in their real in survival mode, and without cheating for the vote, they're in real trouble. Says the motherfuckers who literally stole multiple elections at a federal level at this point, dude. And which I said back to him, says Democrat voters who literally gerrymander every major Ohio city blue. If you want true representation, it's time for one county, one rep, not the 11 reps from Columbus, 10 of which are Democrats. The same thing in Cleveland, Cincinnati, Dayton, etc. Because if you actually look at the Ohio map, how they gerrymandered that motherfucker in the last go around, I'm going to see if I can actually find a thing for that one. For the last election cycle here, Ohio House map 2022 election. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you guys some shit right here right now, right? So even just looking at this particular map, they want to sit here, these Democrats want to sit here and bitch about Ohio and how, oh, we're gerrymandered. Fuck you, dude, number one. Number two, you look at how this fucking map is. Major city, major city, major city, major city, all blue bastion shitholes. Every other fucking part of the state of Ohio is red, dude. Every other part. The only places these fuckers win is where they can gerrymander a major city blue. It's why you have Allison Russo in office, why you have Casey Weinstein in office, why you have all these other douchebags in office right now. And I'm actually going to see if I can find the actual one I was looking for. Yeah, here's the one I was looking for right there. This is the actual maps for the Ohio House and the Ohio Senate right here. And you can see, I'm going to see if I can actually do a screen grab of that or if it actually pops down or not. I'm not sure. So give me a minute here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and blow this one up a little bit here. And then we'll screen share here. So as you can see in this particular map, this is the one that we did for our actual election cycle this year. 11 congressional districts in Franklin County, which is where Columbus is, dude. Cuyahoga County, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in fucking Cuyahoga County. Well, actually, technically that number 23 might be in Lake there. But even still, you're talking about potentially 9 in fucking Cleveland area. And let's go down to Cincinnati. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in fucking Hamilton County, which is where Cincinnati's at. Montgomery County, which is where Dayton's at. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, where's Stark County at? That's in the Cleveland. That's in Canton. That's in Canton. This is in the actual part of Stark County that my representative was in, dude. I'd be okay with just having one here, too, by the way. But yeah, this map is so fucking gerrymandered blue in these major cities, dude. It's ridiculous. It's absolute insanity, dude. You have 99 House seats, and look at that shit. You have whoever is in the 87th House seat right now, Wynette County, Crawford County, Marine County, and Morrow County. They represent all 4 fucking counties as one person, dude. That's retarded as fuck. And the same thing with 88. Sonina County and Sandusky County, represented by one person. Part of Defiance, Pauling, Van Wart, Putman, one person. 11 in fucking Franklin, dude. There is no fucking reason for that, ever. Unless you're trying to gerrymander shit fucking hard blue, dude, is what it is, in these major cities. And you're trying to get more representation in our state house. And that's exactly why these piece of shit fucking Democrats will never, ever, ever agree with a one county, one rep. thing, because they know if we had 88 counties and 88 reps, you would actually see less Democrats in our state house, because what they would have is they would have Franklin County, they would have Cincinnati, they would have Cleveland, they would have Toledo. That would be about it. That would be about it, guaranteed. So they'd have those 4 areas, probably Dayton too, actually, so it'd be Montgomery County then. So you'd have at least like 5 going for them. You'd have probably 60-something going Republican, and you may actually have like 15 to 20 or so going independent or third party, like libertarians and stuff like that. But there would never be an actual thing where they would let that happen, because they know for a fact if they did, you would actually have a real thing. Here's what it is, dude. Anyway, going back to, and we're going to talk about the actual crimes that the Ohio Democrats in power right now have committed in the last couple of years, actually. But before we do that, we're going to talk about Tammy Wilson again, who was talking about, we're back at the Ohio State House protesting HJR 6 that could require 60% voters for ballot initiatives. It fucking should. It should not be a 50% thing at this point. It should be 60% of the fucking voter base, dude. She said, since our state is so gerrymandered, the only way citizens have a voice is by putting issues on the ballot for all Ohioans to let their voices be heard. What, like abortion? Like fucking child murder, you fucking cunt? Or is it like a bunch of anti-gun shit that you know you can't get passed in our General Assembly because you don't have the fucking votes and you never fucking will, you fucking piece of shit? If you people want to be in a blue state, dude, leave my fucking state. Leave the state of Ohio and go fuck yourself and move to some place like New York or fucking California or fucking Michigan that apparently is turning blue right now, or some other fucking leftist shithole at this point. Because we don't want your fucking asses here. To all you fucking cunts out there that are part of Moms Demand Action that came from Connecticut, take your fucking asses back to Connecticut now, bitches. Because we are sick and tired of your shit here is what it is. We are fucking sick and tired of you. We're fucking fed up with your bullshit is what it is, dude. And this is why there will be violence very soon in this country, with a Second American Revolution, with a Second American Civil War, with balkanization, etc. Because it's just damned if you do, damned if you don't, and it's definitely going to be violence at some point, dude. Not that I personally wanted to see violence, but yeah, when you have these fucking cunts literally committing an insurrection act, as I called them out there, and told them hope they enjoy Ohio prison, which is what needs to happen to them at this point, dude, starting with Tammy Wilson, it's time to deal with this shit, dude. And then you got little Dick Stain, state rep fucking Casey Weinstein's bitch ass, talking about how this is a reminder that Republicans in Ohio House passed a bill that mandates internal genital inspections for any child suspected or accused of being trans. So you mean men that pretend to be fucking women and want to go to women's sports? Said they're big government intrusions into our private lives. It's not your private life, you dickhead. Won't stop until we vote them out. To which my response to Weinstein's bitch ass is, you should be in Ohio prison for the hate hoax you committed on yourself in 2019, Casey. We, the people, will see you removed from the 2023 General Assembly for that and every other crime you've committed since you oath-breaking piece of shit. Actually, I fucked up when I said the oath-breaking thing. I said oath-break. Yeah, I meant oath-breaking. He is an oath-breaker, dude. And I would have called him a fucking cunt, too, but unfortunately, you get banned for 12 hours on Twitter if you say that shit, dude. So, fuck him. But yeah, this is the fucking cocksucker right here, dude, Casey Weinstein, who literally committed a hate hoax on himself in 2019, less than a month after I was federally swatted. You never had the feds go after his ass for doing a fucking meme hoax on himself is what it was, dude. Which, for those wondering what he did to himself, he literally printed a bunch of memes off of a fucking computer using his printer, put him in his own fucking mailbox, which, by the way, is a federal felony at that point because you're using the mail to do it, you dumb motherfucker. And then proceeded to act like somebody put him in his fucking mailbox. And then 3 fucking days after that, went to a Facebook buy-sell trade site and sold the printer he used to print the memes off, dude. And was talking about, oh, people want to kill me for tyranny and stuff like that. Mind you, at this point in time in history, this motherfucker was trying to pass a 10-round magazine ban on the state of Ohio and completely breaking his oath to office, and also committing deprivation of law, which is another crime he should be in prison for right now. And has done so ever since then, with red flag laws being a co-sponsor of those, universal background checks being co-sponsor of those, etc., etc. And it's a bunch of bullshit, dude. And I'm fucking sick and tired of it, man. I really fucking am. I am so fucking sick of these fucking people, dude. I am so fucking fed up with this shit right now, man. There is zero reason for these fuckers to be in our state house anymore, dude. Casey Weinstein, Allison Russo, any of them, dude. They all belong in an Ohio prison right now, dude. They have committed so many fucking crimes. It is not even funny anymore. And then going back to the retardation of the fucking Democrat voter race in this state right now, dude, and why they're just a bunch of fucking idiots that don't even have voting rights anymore ever again. You had this fucking chuckle clown dipshit named Kathy Damalski say, there is an authoritarian takeover in the works of the Ohio State House. I guarantee she doesn't even know what the fucking term actually means, dude. She would not know authoritarian if it walked up and dick slapped her across the face at this point, dude. Anyway, it continues on and said, Democrats need to start making this an issue if you want voters to start making it an issue. No, that's how you get your ass fucking thrown out of this state. That's how you get fucking people running out of town on the fucking rails, bitch. And then she claimed midterm turnout was 54%, which is not acceptable. That's fucking high, dude. Over 50% of the state of Ohio came out to vote? That's a high amount of numbers there, lady. To which I responded to her, I said, every Democrat in the Ohio State House currently has committed at minimum 30 misdemeanor crimes in the past 24 months. They all belong in prison. Which is true, by the way. When you look at every single thing that these people have done for the past 2 years now, whether it be red flag laws, whether it be universal background checks, whether it be any other fucking thing along those lines, what they have done with any of that, dude, whether it be deprivation of rights by color of law, times, 10, 15, etc. there, whether it be pushing abortion legislation, whether it be, so you're talking about anti-life at that point, talking about literally killing kids in the womb, dude, which, by the way, should be a death penalty sentence, honestly, at least in my opinion anyway, because you're taking human life. So you have them pushing abortion legislation, you have them pushing trans shit at little kids to literally sterilize children, so that's child abuse right there. You have them, again, trying to take away gun rights, deprivation of rights or color of law, oath breaking for the, oath they swore to uphold the Constitution when they took office on January 3rd, 2021. And so forth and so on. Trying to push fucking raising the minimum wage to literally get votes. Vote buying is another thing right there that nobody ever talks about. That's another misdemeanor right there. So yeah, these people have committed dozens and dozens of these things, dude. And it's all the same shit over and over again is what it is. And like I said, I am so fucking sick and tired of it, dude. And how much do you want to bet? How much do you want to bet, dude? It was Allison Russo or Casey Weinstein or Beth Liston or Bride Rose Sweeney or Bridget Kelly or one of these fuckers in there that is part of the Democrat Party of the General Assembly. Or maybe it was Paula Hicks Hutzer for all the fuck I know, dude. That opened the door to these fucking dipshit-ass Democrats to come in there and fucking bitch out the General Assembly while it was in committee at the time, dude. While it was doing floor vote stuff at the time. How are these, seriously, why was the Ohio State Police not called in that day, dude? These fucking people, or at bare minimum, if you're not going to call in the cops, dude, have the fucking sergeant at arms in the state house and everybody else for that matter that's a police officer and has the authority to arrest these fucking people, dude. Because they are literally committing crimes by shouting down a General Assembly that is in committee at the fucking time, dude, that is actually doing legislation at that time in history, which is a crime, by the way, in the state of Ohio. As far as I'm aware, it's like either a high-level misdemeanor or a low-level felony in the state. Because you're disrupting actual government proceedings is what it is, dude. It's the exact same bullshit that little fuckstick David Hogg did 3, 4, 5 months ago, whatever it was, after Uvalde, when they were doing the hearings in committee that day in the federal house there, when he was like shouting shit down. That kid should have been charged with like at least 2 felonies that day for doing that shit, dude. And this is the fucking problem. And this is why I'm so sick of these fucking people, dude, because it is literally a goddamn double standard in this fucking country that I'm so fucking fed up with, dude. If you are a Democrat, you can get away with committing fucking felony charges in a state or a federal level against a sitting General Assembly. But God forbid you're a Republican talking about reopening a fucking state and you have the fucking Ohio State cops behind the fucking door with guns drawn. That happened, by the way, back in 2020 here in Ohio. It was actually May the 4th, the 50-year anniversary, actually almost 50-year anniversary of the Kent State Massacre. Or actually, maybe it was the 15th anniversary of the Kent State Massacre. I'm thinking about it because it would have been 2020 then. I think that happened in 1970, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it would have been the exact 50th anniversary of the Kent State Massacre that you had armed police behind the fucking door while there were families outside simply protesting to reopen the state of Ohio over bullshit lockdowns that we since know for a fact were absolute bullshit and unnecessary, that destroyed our state economy for decades to come. I am so fucking fed up with this shit, dude. I want to make an announcement right now. I'm running for Ohio governor in 2026, and I'm so sick of this shit, dude. My name is in the fucking ring. My hat has been thrown in the fucking ring. I'm going for 2026 at this point, if we even make it to that point. If we make it to 2026, my hat is in the ring for Ohio governor's race. And if anybody wants to help support me, I'll be doing some stuff here in the near future where you can support me. I have a bonfire site that I haven't really updated recently, but there's a lot of stuff on there that you can buy. Obviously, the thing that supports me the most is buying mugs and stuff. We're going to start doing new mugs and stuff on there as well. We might start doing new shirts as well, but those, again, don't make a whole lot of money. Or like, I think at that, because I have to pay, basically have them be like 25 a piece, and it would only be like $2 or $3 coming to my actual campaign is what it is. So I don't know. Maybe I'll figure out something and do like a patch run or something like that for the Patriot Education Network and stuff like that, and see if people will just buy a bunch of patches. What it is, dude. It could be anything at this point, but anyway. So what we just talked about here for the last, 20 minutes or so with the Democrat Party there, and then literally shouting down a sitting General Assembly that was in the process of actually doing their work at the time. You had State Rep Brian Stewart, who I think is actually going to run for the speakership next year. I can't remember if it's him or it's one of the there's a couple Brians in here actually. And I can't remember if it's him or if it's one of the other ones that's going to be throwing his hat in the ring for the Ohio speakership next year. But this was what he said the other day about the whole thing. This was yesterday. He posted this to all House GOP members. So House Representatives, Representative Brian Stewart, Ohio's 78th District, to all GOP members, Wednesday the 14th, 2022, Ohio Congressional Protection Amendment, HJR 6, says, colleagues, in light of yesterday's temper tantrum from the left in the House chamber, meaning the fucking cunts that were trying to shout down and be like, our voice, our ballot. Okay, if that were really true, if you really think that your voice matters and you want to be on the and you want to have stuff on the ballot and stuff like that, or you want to, have representation or whatever the case be, then actually have the fucking voters come out and vote left. Oh yeah, that's right. They're not going to because they see this shit and realize you're a bunch of fucking psychotic nutcases that belong in a goddamn loony bin. Dude, I'll tell you what, the best thing that could happen right now in this state and in this country is forced mental institutionalization. I mean that seriously. I've been talking about that since 2018, bro. That is the worst thing that President Trump ever did, was not throw these fucking leftist nut jobs in a fucking mental institution where they belong at this point, dude. Because that is exactly why America's so fucked in 2022 right now. It's a bunch of mentally ill people walking around fucking free and having voting rights at this point, dude. And wanting to throw little bitch fucking temper tantrums and be a bunch of fucking uppity cunts is what it is. All fucking 30 or 40 of them or whatever the fuck it was there that day, dude. But anyway. Oh, sorry, I got to nothing here. Okay, so go back to that. Thank you for Stewart there. Yeah, he said, in light of yesterday's temper tantrum from the left in the House chamber, I wanted to write to you again regarding HJR 6. There's an old saying in the military, if you're taking flak, you're over the target. There is a reason that every far-left group in Ohio is fighting so hard to preserve their ability to do an end run around us, the elected representatives of the people, to amend the Ohio Constitution by a bare 50% plus one vote margin. One, after decades of Republicans' work to make Ohio a pro-life state, the left intends to write abortion on demand into Ohio's Constitution. By the way, I will never fucking let that shit happen ever, dude. I will never let these fucking cunts pull that shit, dude, ever again. Especially not in the state of Ohio. In fact, I would put something on the ballot to reinforce life in this state is what it would be, man. Anyway, Stewart continued on and said, if they succeed, all the work accomplished by multiple Republican majorities will be undone, and we will return to 19,000 plus babies being aborted each and every year. So really what it means is 19,000 plus kids murdered every year in Ohio through abortion. It's fucking disgusting, dude. Continuing on here, Stewart said, number 2, despite enduring a year-long circus in the Ohio Supreme Court, Republicans won a 67-seat majority in the House in 2022. By the way, it should have probably been 68, but we took 67, dude. We now have over a 2/3 majority in the state of Ohio. If every single Republican, I'm calling all y'all out right now, dude, from Brian Stewart to Reggie Stolfus to Bill Seitz to everybody else, dude, especially all the new guys, Jim Thomas, all you people now that have flipped seats from Dem to Republican. Just like you, Sarah Fowler Arthur. I'm calling on all you guys, dude. Lockstep together and vote every fucking Democrat out of the General Assembly this coming year. Kick every one of their asses out in 2023, dude. Do not allow this shit to happen ever again, because there's not going to be any Democrat representation in this fucking state anymore, dude. Boot all their asses out and hold over 30 new special elections in one shot. And if people want to vote new Democrats in after that, dude, that's fine. But boot all the ones that are already in there the fuck out is what it is, dude. Because I guarantee you, if you had a real, true special election, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, Green Party, Constitution Party, etc., all represented, dude, you would have new people in there that don't have Democrat or Republican next to their name is what it is. Anyway, continuing on with this, though. Stewart said, yeah, the year-long circus House Supreme Court, Republicans won 67-seat majority in 2022 House. Unable to win a statewide election, Democrats now intend to rewrite Ohio Constitution to put Maureen O'Connor, who, by the way, is termed the fuck out of our current state Supreme Court because she was the rhino fucking cunt who most likely was handed a bribe by Allison Russo last year to start voting with a bunch of leftists on stuff in our Supreme Court, and other unelected liberals in charge of drawing legislative districts affecting not only the Ohio legislature, but control of the U.S. House of Representatives as well. And that is just in 2023. Almost every election cycle brings a new scheme from an outside special interest group, almost always from the left, designed to buy on the statewide ballot what they can't persuade us to do in the legislature. He's right about that too, by the way. They've tried that shit a bunch of times now, dude. Nick Lachey and people like that tried it like 10 years ago with weed, which I think should be legalized in the state, but not when their asses, not when it's going to be some rich douchebags being in control of all of it, dude, is what it is, for all the growing sites and all the fucking what do you call those places? Dispensaries and stuff like that, because that's what would have happened there if that had become law then. You would have had Nick Lachey and company be in control of that shit, dude. And it's like, nah, fuck that. That's why I got voted down by the people actually back then, because we're like, no, we're not gonna let some asshole take our shit is what it is, dude, and line their own fucking pockets. Anyway, he said HJR 6 is supported by Ohio Right to Life, the Center for Christian Virtue, the Ohio Chamber of Commerce, and the Ohio Business Roundtable. What's funny to me about that too, by the way, is people that were bitching and moaning about Stewart's thing here on Twitter were like, oh, they're just trying to give a win to Ohio Right to Life and Center for Christian Virtue. You mean people who actually give a shit about life? You're not giving a win to anybody, dude. You're literally supporting human fucking life being born alive, you fucking asshole, demonic pieces of shit. And that's the truth at the end of the day, dude. It's going to be a few more generations at this point, dude, where you're going to have these fucking asshole Democrats that are not having kids, by the way, that are not actually bringing anything to the fucking table ever again in this country. They're not having families. They're not having, future generation offspring, etc., dude. And they're going to die out very soon is what it's going to be, dude. That's why you have people like Tammy Wilson in the fucking death rows right now bitching and moaning, dude. Because she knows she's pretty much the last of our generation. It's why Nan Whaley, who was trying to run for governor earlier this year, went on a whole fucking anti-life, anti-gun, super fucking cunt tirade, dude. Because she is the last generation of her fucking family, dude. When she dies, her bloodline is gone, dude. Her husband and her have no kids. They don't want to have kids, apparently. And I'm okay with that, honestly, dude. Because at least they're not hypocrites on that one, you know? At least if you're going to go down that road and be like, oh, I support abortion and all this other shit like that, dude, at least not having kids, you're actually being legit about it. Unlike Gretchen Whitmer, who has, as far as I can tell, like 5 kids there in Michigan, and yet supports murder on demand. So, yeah, it's just fucked up, bro. But anyway, continuing on back with this, though. Shit, that's my place now. Okay, so basically, so I'm gonna start rereading this now because I kind of went on tirade there. So we're gonna go from 1 to 2 to 3 and stuff like that. Okay, so starting out here, this is what Brian Stewart said. He said, colleagues, in the light of yesterday's temper tantrum by the left from the House chamber, I wanted to write to you again regarding HJR 6. There's an old saying in the military, if you're taking flak, you're over the target. There is a reason why every far-left group in Ohio is fighting so hard to preserve their ability to do an end run around us, the elected representatives of the people, to amend the Ohio Constitution by a bare 50% plus 1 vote margin. 1, after decades of Republicans' work to make Ohio a pro-life state, also pro-gun state, by the way, the left intends to write abortion on demand into Ohio's Constitution. They're probably going to try to fuck over our constitutional carry as well if they're able to get the shit done as well as what this dude. So if they succeed, all the work accomplished by multiple Republican majorities will be undone, and we will return to 19,000 plus babies being aborted each and every year. Number 2, despite enduring a year-long circus in the House Supreme Court, Republicans won a 67-seat majority in the House in 2022. Unable to win a statewide election, Democrats now intend to rewrite the Ohio Constitution to put Maureen O'Connor and other unelected liberals in charge of drawing legislative districts, affecting not only the Ohio legislature, but control of the United States House of Representatives as well. And that's just in 2023. Almost every election cycle brings a new scheme from outside special interest group, almost always from the left, designed to buy on the statewide ballot what they can't persuade us to do in the legislature. HJR 6 is supported by Ohio Right to Life, Center for Christian Virtue, Ohio Chamber of Commerce, and the Ohio Business Roundtable. We anticipate that once they work through their initial processes, that the Buckeye Institute and NFIB, which I'm not actually sure what that stands for, will also be proponents of this as well, which they'd be on board with it as well on that one. So I spoke with Matt Esraldi. I'm not even sure I pronounced that guy's name. It's literally Scolllosi, with the Building Trade Union last week, and he confirmed that the Building Trade Union are neutral on this resolution. The handful of public sector unions that oppose HJR 6 have aligned themselves with the left, and the display you saw yesterday, continuing a trend that's existed for years. By contrast, scores of conservatives have told us for years that the Ohio Constitution should not be for sale. Yes, we have, by the way. Said yesterday, meaning the 13th, because this is written on 14th, so it's 2 days ago, showed you what the opposition to HJR 6 is all about. Too much is at stake. We must take this opportunity to protect Ohio's Constitution. If we cannot pass HJR 6 now, I hope you will seriously consider the consequences of an action and support this resolution in January as we begin the 135th General Assembly. Sincerely, Brian Stewart, State Rep, Ohio 78th District. So yeah, needless to say, something needs to be done here, dude. And I don't know if they passed this resolution last night, because I know that they were in committee at like 10, 11 o'clock last night, dude. I kind of hope they did, honestly. And honestly, if they did like dead of night shit, I'd be fine with it at this point, dude, because fuck these fucking people that are the opposition to this shit, dude. Like, if you're going to throw a temper tantrum at fucking 2:30 in the afternoon or 3:30 in the afternoon or whatever because you don't have a fucking real job is what it is, because your job is only being bought and paid for by Bloomberg dark money is what it is, because you're a bunch of fucking insufferable cunts that want to sit there and claim, oh, I had a child and somehow that gives me the rights and abilities to go out there and try to fuck with people's constitutional rights like the Second Amendment. No, it doesn't. In fact, it tells you to shut the fuck up, you fucking stupid cunt, and stop trying to infringe on the right to keep and bear arms of we the people. Specifically, the only constitutional amendment in the entire Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment, is the only one that cannot be infringed upon, and that's the one that they consistently attack every single fucking time, because they know if they can take our guns, that they can then take our lives too. And fuck that. I will never fucking bow down to a goddamn communist, fucking socialist, Marxist, bunch of fucking assholes, insufferable fucking cunts that want to sit there and try to destroy my life and my way of living and my ability to have kids and my ability to be a fucking father in this country by pushing fucking abortion on demand, by destroying our fucking right to keep and bear arms, etc., dude. Fuck that shit. Honestly, and I'm going to say it like it is, dude. And I've said it many, many, many times in the past, actually. The 19th Amendment was a huge fucking mistake, dude. Across the board. Because what was the first thing? What was the first fucking thing that the first generation of feminists did once they got the right to vote? The suffragette movement. They voted in one of the worst fucking Democrats in U.S. history, dude. That is exactly what they fucking did. And it's exactly what they've continued to do every fucking election cycle since, dude. There is a reason why most chicks are default Democrat voters, dude. Because the Democrat Party has gone so fucking psychotic that it turns what should be a decent human being into a fucking lunatic. There is a reason why I fled the Democrat Party in 2012. Because I was so sick and tired of it, dude. I started having the ability to vote at 19 years old in the 2004 presidential election. I voted Democrat 3 times in my life for president, and 2 times were the worst fucking votes I ever did. And you guys know who I'm talking about at that point, being motherfucking bitch Obama. I regret every single fucking day of my life ever voting for that scumbag son of a bitch, dude. That dude was the worst president in U.S. history ever, by default. And if I had thought better of it in 2012, I should have voted for Ron Paul, honestly. And it's the biggest regret I've ever had in my life right now, dude, when it comes to political voting records and stuff like that. Obviously, 2004, I voted, I believe it was John Kerry. But again, that was back when I was a 19-year-old, wet behind the ears kid, didn't know any better. Asking my mom, oh, who should I vote for, because it's like, you tend to trust your parents. Oh, you should just vote the Democrat ticket. That's what she told me back then. Okay. And now, it's funny now because we've had, blow-ups and stuff. We've had, basically hour-long, not really arguments. And when I say blow-ups, I don't really mean like blow-ups, but I mean like, just like back and forth, like kind of like hour-plus debates and stuff like that is what it is, of like, this is why this person is bad, this is why this person is bad, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, neutral stance, non-neutral stance, stuff like that kind of thing is what it is. And I've seemed to sway her towards my view anymore, dude, with a lot of stuff on this one. Because she's even gotten to the point where her being what I consider to be a JFK Democrat from the 1960s, which it seems like when you start looking at these people that are, baby boomer generation or silent generation voter bases that are still alive right now, a lot of them still believe that the Democrat Party is the party of John F. Kennedy, dude. It's not, by the way. It's the party that killed JFK, legitimately. And if JFK were alive today, he would very much be the Republican Party ticket, or he'd be some kind of like independent / third party person is what it would be, dude. But the entire point is that these people, these, older folks and stuff like that, they will continue to vote the Democrat Party. They'll continue to toe the line is what it is. Not realizing that the goalposts have been moved so fucking far to the left at this point that it's a bunch of lunatics running the asylum is what it is, dude. Or they'll believe the mainstream media because they'll watch shit like CNN or MSNBC or whatever the case be and be like, well, they tell me that Trump is a piece of shit and that the Republican Party is doing everything they can to fuck us over. And then, 2 years into Biden now, they fucking see that it was all a bunch of lies, dude. I actually had an aunt recently who's been a lifelong Democrat. She's another JFK Democrat, actually. We were coming back from the thing, and she basically more or less said, fuck Biden at this point in the car ride home, dude. And that to me was like, whoa, man, because she's been, anti-Trump and anti-Republican Party for like decades, pretty much, dude. Like she was one of these people that's always bitching about like, oh, I don't understand why, my blue vote doesn't count in this red county. And it's like, well, stop fucking voting for Democrats and maybe it will count then. But yeah, like she would always get mad about that because her and my uncle at the time, obviously he's dead now, which again, fuck Big Pharma for killing him on that one. They would always vote Democrat and stuff like that, and she was like, yeah, we don't really have representation here because our votes basically go essentially in the trash at that point because you have so many red voters here in this state or in this county is what it was. And I'm like, then stop voting Democrat. Like, it's not that hard, man. Like, Jesus. And it's not even that they have to vote Republican either, dude. They can just vote third party, for God's sakes. It might actually matter at that point then. So, or even better, like, vote for the best candidate in the fucking race, dude. Like, do the actual work. And that's the one thing that pisses me off the most about voting people, dude. About everybody having voting rights by default is what it is at 18 years old. Because what you end up having is you'll have a bunch of people like myself, and I'm a pretty smart guy, honestly. My autism sort of gets me laser focused on certain things is what it is. And my thing is, especially with this last election cycle, the 2022 midterms here, dude, I spent days of my life at that point, like legit, like 2-3 days of my life, going over every candidate, every issue, everything like that was on the thing right now, and who the best person was for those races, dude. In the long run, some of it didn't matter because, unfortunately, some of these tickets were like a solo person on the ballot, basically. Like, for instance, like my state rep right now, dude, he was the only person on the ballot. There was no Democrat person running against him on the general election ticket. There was no independents running against him on the ballot at all or anything like that, dude. Which, again, goes back to my one county, one rep thing, because even here in Stark County, where we have 3 different representatives for the area that I'm at here outside of Canton, in the city of Canton, and then some other part where it's like sort of like outskirts of Canton and like going almost into Summit County there, you could easily just have one county rep for the entirety of Stark County there, dude. Would sometimes it go blue? Maybe. Would sometimes it go red? Yes. And that's the entire thing, dude. But you would have true representation at that point. Because you would actually have, and that's a problem again with a lot of people, dude. When you have so many state reps that some people don't even know who the fuck their state rep is here, it's like, bro, there's a reason why people don't call up their General Assembly members and bitch them out and stuff like that. It's like those Democrats there that were like, well, we weren't being heard by the General Assembly, so we had to come here and basically shout you down is what it was, dude. And you really think that they're going to hear you after that? No, they're going to think you're a bunch of fucking lunatics. That's what you fucking are is what it is. And that's the entire point of the whole damn thing, dude. They look at you like a bunch of psychotic nuts because you act like a bunch of fucking psychotic nuts. Seriously. You're fucking 30, 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old women at that state house on Tuesday. Throwing a fucking temper tantrum like a fucking child, like a fucking 5-year-old, dude. And you really think you should have voting rights in the state ever again? Hell no, bro. That is some fucking childish ass shit right there, dude. Until you want to grow up and act like a fucking grown ass woman? No, you shouldn't have fucking voting rights in the state ever again, dude. When you want to sit there and pull some shit that equates to a fucking insurrection act, no, you shouldn't have fucking voting rights in the state ever again, dude. And actually, let's go ahead and just look up the actual definition, by textbook definition, of what the Insurrection Act actually was and how it was formed here in this country in 1807. Insurrection Act of 1807 in the United States federal law powers President of the United States to deploy U.S. military and federalized National Guard troops within the United States in particular circumstances such as to suppress civil disorder, insurrection, or rebellion. The act, which, by the way, there's like a state level version of it that governors can do too. If DeWine wanted to get off his fat ass the other day and do something, he could have. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Speaker Cupp probably could have done something too, because he's like 4th in line to power of the governorship. So, anyway. But yeah, Insurrection Act. Rebellion, uprising, and insurrection is a refusal of ordinance or order. It refers to the open resistance against the orders of an established authority. So yes, by that definition, every single one of these women that were there bitching and moaning at the House the other day committed an Insurrection Act, dude. They committed insurrection against the state of Ohio on 12/13/2022. Anyway, continuing on back to the actual part of this Insurrection Act here, it said, Act provides a statutory exemption to the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878, which limits the use of military personnel under federal command for law enforcement purposes within the United States before invoking the powers under the Act, which is Section 10 U.S. Code 254, requires the president to first publish a proclamation ordering the insurrectionists to disperse, which, like I said, they're pretty much our state level versions of this that governors could do as well, and be like, hey, you have the, like, basically, you could have the cops go in there and be like, you have 2 minutes to get the fuck out of here, you're going to be arrested. Like, that's what they could have had. They could have had a bunch of state cops in there, been like, hey, you got 2 minutes to shut the hell up and move and leave the premises right now, or you will be arrested for trespassing or something, dude. And they could have just trespassed from the state house if that be the case then. But they didn't. They didn't have any cops there at all doing any of that, dude. And, you know, that was like, what, like that video I showed earlier was like 30, 40 seconds, dude. It might have been like 15, 20 seconds, actually. But yeah, I guarantee that shit was going on for minutes at a time, dude. Like, it was probably going on for a good 20, 30 minutes is what it was, dude. Anyway, see where we're going back here. Insurrection Act. Yeah, it said these are constitutional exemptions to Posse Comitatus restrictions rooted in president's own congressional authority. Said Defense Department guidelines describe Homeland Defense as a constitutional exemption to Posse Comitatus restriction, meaning that measures necessary to guarantee national security from external threats are not subject to the same limitations. Purpose and content. The Insurrection Act empowers U.S. President to call into service the U.S. Armed Forces and the National Guard when requested by state legislators, or by a state's legislator or governor, if the legislator cannot be convened to address an insurrection against the state. And honestly, they were in session while this was going on, dude. So to me, you have the ability at that point in time to be like, hey, this is an Insurrection Act. Leave the premises or get arrested and criminal trespass and stuff like that, dude. For real. Anyway, number 2, to address an insurrection in any state which makes it impracticable to enforce the law. Number 3, to address an insurrection, domestic violence, unlawful combination of conspiracy, which how are these chicks not being tried with conspiracy at this point because they're all there doing shit and stuff like that is what it is. In any state which results in the deprivation of constitutionally secured rights. There you go, right there, dude. Which results in the deprivation of constitutionally secured rights and where the state is unable, fails, or refuses to protect said rights. And that's what these fucking cunts were doing, by the way, that makes shit an insurrection, dude. Because they were trying to deprive the rest of Ohioans our constitutionally secured rights and stopping a General Assembly from making sure to ensure said rights. So yeah, it's a bunch of fucking bullshit, dude, entirely. And then there's all the lists of insurrection acts throughout the history of America, with the last one being the LA race riots of 1992, and it was George H.W. Bush was the last president to actually call in an insurrection act there on May 1st, 1992 then. He also called one in after disorder following Hurricane Hugo in 1989. And then before that, it was Lyndon B. Johnson in 1968. So you see how infrequently it was done there. And then when you go back to the first one, it was Thomas Jefferson in 1808, and then Andrew Jackson in 1831, and then Abraham Lincoln in 1861 for the first American Civil War. So, and then of course you had the Brooks-Boxer War. The Great Railway Strike of 1877 was another one by Rutherford B. Hayes. You had Ulysses S. Grant do a few for the 1872 Louisiana gubernatorial election. He also did one to suppress Ku Klux Klan back in those days. He also did another one, which was the Brooks-Boxer Rebellion. That was Grant's ones. Or Rutherford B. Hayes did the railway strike in the Lincoln County War of 1878. You had Grover Cleveland do one in 1894 for the Pullman strike, which had to do with labor disputes and stuff like that, kind of what we're seeing right now with the railway strike. You had one in 1914 over the Colorado Coalfield War. You had one in 1932 over the conflict with Bogus Army, which the Bogus Army was a group of 43,000 demonstrators, 17,000 veterans of the United States involved in World War I, their families and affiliate groups who gathered in Washington, D.C. in mid-1932 to demand early cash redemption of their service bonus certificates. So basically it was over money, honestly. Most of it all is, honestly. And then going back to other ones that happened in that time period, you had Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1943 do the 1943 Detroit race riot. 1957, Dwight D. Eisenhower did to protect the Little Rock Nine, which was the when they started doing racial integration in schools, if I'm not mistaken. That's what that was based on. 1962, JFK did it for Ole Miss riot in 1962. That was back when, which was also known as the Battle for Oxford. That was back when you had segregational riots and stuff like that before you actually had that. This is based, honestly, what's interesting is the JFK one right there for Ole Miss one of 62. That was pretty much what led to everybody over the age of 18 having voting rights by default, because you did not have Black Americans at the time actually have voting rights, if I'm not mistaken, or it was like right around that time is where we finally had civil rights movement happen, where they got voting rights is what it was then. So anyway, June 11th, 63, JFK did another one for the stand in the schoolhouse door. That was another one based on racial segregation into schools and stuff like that. Or to say, not segregation, racial desegregation, where you had Black and white kids going to schools for the first time together is what it was. And then you had JFK do another one on September 10th, 1963, to enforce desegregation orders on Alabama's public schools. And then LBJ did one in 65 to provide protection to marchers of Selma to Montgomery marches. That was Martin Luther King Jr. and them all doing a march from Selma and stuff like that. I think that was what was portrayed in the movie Selma, if I'm not mistaken. Then you had, like I said, another one by LBJ in 67 for the Detroit race riot. You had another one in 68 for the DC race riots. The 2 days after that, there was another one by LBJ for the Baltimore race riots of 68. And the same day, he did one for the 68 Chicago riots. So, yeah, pretty interesting little, tidbits here and there. And I like to refer back to the Insurrection Act every single, chance I can get here, because it's a lot of interesting history, honestly, dude. And it shows where this country started at, honestly. And again, going further back than that, dude, like going back to, the original time period in this country, when you had Andrew Jackson as president in 1930 or 1831, what was his first insurrection act over? Nat Turner's slave rebellion. And then another one 3 years later, which was a labor dispute by workers on the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal. And like I said, Abraham Lincoln's was literally the fucking American Civil War, dude. So it's not taken lightly when you do insurrection acts in this country, dude. All the guys that did them back in the day, starting with Thomas Jefferson over in Bargo Acts in 1808, all had to do with the fact that you had serious shit happening in this country, dude. Or it was some kind of crazy fucking rioting and stuff like that, which honestly, when you look at how many over riots and stuff like that, or some kind of similar thing like that, like obviously if you look at the American Civil War, obviously that could have been considered a riot to begin with. So that's one. Then you had Lincoln County War, which is more or less, a riot between factions and stuff like that of people. Railway strike was a workers' dispute. Brooks Baxter War was over, similar conflict to Lincoln County War. 1872 gubernatorial election there in Louisiana was literally because people were cheating is what it was, dude. And then you had Pullman strike. That was over workers' dispute. The Colorado Coalfield War, workers' dispute. Bogus Army, workers' dispute / money dispute is what it was. And then after that, it was basically 43 race riot. 57, Little Rock 9 stuff. 62, race riot. 63, racial segregation stuff. 63, still racial segregation stuff. 65, still racial segregation stuff. 67, a race riot. 68, another race riot. 68, another race riot. 68, another race riot. 1989, Hurricane Hugo, people stealing shit. And 1992, the LA race riots. You see a pattern there? I do. A lot of it were race riots, dude. Legitimately, that's why I call them race riots, because they were. You know? Ironically enough, like, truthfully, when you look at the one for Baltimore, Maryland, and Chicago, Illinois there, which were both racial-based riots there in 68, that happened on the same day, you could have really had LBJ just do one major one for both those together. Like, it didn't have to be two separate orders is what it was, dude. But I think one started earlier than the other is what it was. I think the Baltimore one started actually a little bit earlier than Chicago did, and that's why he ordered that stuff. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can go back to 2020 right now, actually, and, you know, the George Floyd riots 2020. Trump could have easily ordered an Insurrection Act then, dude, for what was going on there in Portland, Oregon and stuff like that. He would have been justified as hell to do it, honestly. When you had Antifa and BLM terrorists attacking the fucking courthouse there. Or you could have done it in any place for that matter. You could have done it in fucking Minnesota there, dude. Where you had all these people rioting and looting and everything like that. Hell, he could have just declared a fucking nationwide Insurrection Act for that matter if he really wanted to, dude. And just did 50 state fucking quells is what it was, dude. Called in National Guards like a motherfucker and restored law and order immediately is what it was. But instead he let it play out is what it was, dude. So, you know, I'm just saying, like, there's been times in history where people could have done it since 92, dude, and they just haven't done it. So, yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, needless to say, like I said, it's a bunch of bullshit, dude. That all these fucking chicks were at our state house throwing a fucking temper tantrum and stuff like that. And it's like, I have no idea how that ended, if they were asked to leave by the cops or not, but they should have been. They really should have been trespassed from the fucking state house forever in every case, dude. Been like, nope, you're now trespassed. You're no longer in the state. You're no longer allowed to come in the Ohio State House ever again, dude. Now, granted, could that be a First Amendment violation of redress of grievances? Maybe. And that's where it gets kind of hairy right now, right? Because you have like one thing over another thing. But the thing is, you know, like when you start adding it all together, like you could basically say that, yeah, they were doing a redress of grievances and stuff like that. But the thing is, when your supposed redress of grievances then coalesces with a General Assembly actually trying to do their job at the time to pass legislation to make it harder to amend a state constitution, a constitution that we the people made sure to enact when we first founded this state, you know, centuries back is what it was at this point, dude. And again, you know, even going back to that, dude, like, you know, let's talk about Ohio's constitution right now, dude. You know, Article 1, Section 4 of the Ohio Constitution specifically, which enables for Ohioans to have the right to keep and bear arms in this country, dude, and in this state. Article 1, Section 4, Ohio Constitution, bearing arms, standing armies, military powers. The people have the right to bear arms for their defense and security, but standing armies in time of peace are dangerous to liberty and shall not be kept up, and the military shall be in strict subordination to the civil power. How long, honestly, with this 50% bullshit margin thing, dude, how long until these fucking worthless ass cunts, these Democrat fucking hoe bags, dude, would try to do away with Article 1, Section 4 of Ohio's Constitution if they have the ability to amend our Constitution with a 50% margin, dude, at that point? I guarantee you it's going to be on the chopping block immediately, dude. It would be them putting abortion on demand first, and then they would probably do this shit second is what it is, dude. Fuck that. Yeah, there is a major reason why we need to have a much larger majority. In fact, I would even go further than 60% at this point, dude. I'd say 75% to amend our Constitution. If you can't get 75%, then fuck you. It doesn't need to be amended if that be the case, dude. There's no reason for that to be amended, dude, honestly. You should be able to pass legislation in the General Assembly. If you can't get it passed There's a reason why people don't, seriously, the entire thing, going back full circle to what we have seen in this state house, in this state, is there is a major fucking reason why you have people who are sick and tired of all of it, dude. There is a reason why you have debate and counter debate. There is a reason why you have proponent testimony and opposition testimony and interested party testimony in all these various committees. Because you have people that will say, no, we don't want this. You know, people that say, no, we do want this. And at the end of the day, it's going to be the General Assembly that decides one way or another if they want to vote it through or not. I'm thinking, honestly, might be the reason that these fucking women went in there and bitched and moaned was because technically HJR 6, I don't believe actually had like full committee hearings and stuff like that for opponent testimony, interested party testimony, all stuff like that. Because it couldn't, because shocker, you fucking Democrats wasted 6 months of our fucking lives, wasted 6 months of the General Assembly's time this year, bullshitting about fucking maps. You want to blame somebody, Democrat voters? Blame your fucking cunt Allison Russo, dude. You want to blame somebody, man? Seriously, you want to fucking blame somebody in this whole thing, dude? Blame this dumb bitch right here. You want to blame somebody for why Ohio didn't get shit done this year? Blame fucking Allison Russo, dude. The minority leadership in the House who fucked around with our maps for 6 months, forced us to have 2 different fucking primaries this year, forced Ohio taxpayers to pay over $20 million for a second primary, all because she and her little fucking demon Democrats wanted to fuck around with congressional districts in the state, dude, so that she and her fucking Democrat buddies could have more power in our state house. This is also the same fucking cunt who in May of 2021 took an envelope full of cash from Moms Demand Action members on camera in a House Oversight Committee hearing for constitutional carry. The fact that she still has yet to be investigated for that shit is absolute bullshit, dude. Allison Russo was one of the biggest insufferable cunts in the entire state of Ohio, dude. I have a personal hatred for her ass right now, dude, because of the shit she has pulled in this state in the past 3 years, dude. Because she has directly tried to infringe on my constitutional right to keep and bear arms and every other Ohioan's right to keep and bear arms in the state, dude. She has been the primary sponsor of red flag laws every single fucking time they have gone through the past 2 General Assemblies, dude. She should have been in jail 3 days after Dayton in 2019 when she and other Democrats pushed for red flag legislation and universal background checks. She was a primary on red flag laws, and she was a co-sponsor on universal background checks. And that should have been her final fucking day in office, dude, for deprivation of rights on color of law. And honestly, it's time to make deprivation of rights on color of law a felony in the state of Ohio, dude. Because if the General Assembly isn't going to toss her ass out, if they're not going to toss Democrats out, then it's time to allow the citizenry to arrest these motherfuckers, dude. And I would have no problem coming down to the State House, dude, with a bunch of pairs of handcuffs and literally arresting these sons of bitches for deprivation of rights of law as a felony at that point. And I guarantee you there would be a lot more than just me doing it, dude. There would be a lot of other people in groups coming down there to do the same shit, dude. Because they would understand that, yes, the Democrat Party is a fucking problem in the state of Ohio right now, dude. It has been for some decades now. When they are literally cheating themselves into power through multiple elections, whether it be Sherrod Brown's cheat in 2018, whether it be them fucking getting Biden in 2020, whether it be fucking Tim Ryan getting back in office in 2020, whether it be other Democrats like Amelia Sykes getting into power in the 2022 midterms, dude. Every single one of these fucking so-called Democrat wins for any high-level seat of power should always be audited, dude. when you have Sherrod Brown's judge friend in 2018, 3 days before the midterm elections, put over 270,000 dead and ineligible voters back in our voter rolls, and then Sherrod Brown somehow mysteriously wins 3 days later by roughly right around 270,000 votes? Investigate that shit. Audit that fucking election, dude, for God's sakes. You wonder why people like me are pissed off? You wonder why people like me are sick and tired of the corruption at the Ohio State House and the Ohio State Senate and the Ohio General Assembly? It's because you fucking people never do anything to address these fucking scumbags like Allison Russo and Sherrod Brown, etc., dude. This woman literally took fucking bribery on camera. She should be in an Ohio prison right now for accepting bribes. And she's not the only one. Fucking Mary Lightbody, Bride Rose Sweeney, the two women in that picture with her here. The old woman is Mary Lightbody, the girl in the middle is Bride Rose Sweeney. Sweeney was the other primary sponsor on red flag laws in 2019. Mary Lightbody was a co-sponsor of it. All three of these chicks should be in jail right now, dude. For deprivation of rights under color of law. At least 1 year and 1 day in an Ohio jail and never allowed to hold office ever again in the state. That's all I'm asking for God's sakes. It's not that hard, man. Remove them. Or shit like this right here. Special election, Ohio's 15th district. Mike Carey beat Allison Russo. Right then and there, Russo should have been tossed out of the General Assembly, dude, because she was running for higher office. And yet you guys let her remain in power after her running for a different fucking position of power. No, get the fuck out, cunt. You're not welcome here anymore. We're sick and tired of you, Allison. You directly, lady. It was you and Vernon Sykes, the two fucking Democrats on the map redistricting committee, holding shit up for months on end. And then y'all took a 2.5 month fucking break for the summertime. And then you want to bitch, and then Allison wants to bitch and moan about, like, this is why we can't have them pass stuff in the middle of the night. Then get back to fucking work in the goddamn summer, you fucking worthless cunt. You're being paid. Go back to fucking work or don't get fucking paid. Seriously, fucking hell, man. This is why I'm so sick and tired of this shit. I am so fucking fed up with these people right now, dude. Because they are some of the biggest pieces of fucking crap in the state, dude. They are absolute fucking scum. They don't give a shit about our constitutional rights. They don't give a shit about the U.S. Constitution or the Ohio Constitution or anything that they've sworn an elected oath to uphold. All they care about is fucking not getting arrested for the crimes they're committing while they're in office. And it's time for that to fucking happen, honestly, dude. It's time for the chickens to come home with a fucking roost at this point, dude. And it's time for every single Democrat in 2023 to be tossed the fuck out of the Ohio General Assembly at this point, dude. And I mean that seriously. 67 Republicans, lockstep together, do a 2/3 majority vote, throw every single one of their asses, starting with Allison Russo the fuck out of office, dude. Toss her out first, toss Casey Weinstein out second, and then just go down the fucking line of the other 30-something, dude. Have a special election after that, and then get shit done. That's what needs to happen right now in the state of Ohio, dude. Because honestly, what we have seen right now is absolute fucking garbage, dude. It is absolute crap. And I have had it up to here. I have had it up. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and show myself on camera. I'm not feeling the greatest right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and show myself on camera, dude. When it comes to people like Allison fucking Russo, dude, I've had it up to here with this bitch. Past my hair. Had it up to here with her ass, dude. That's how bad it is. I hate that woman so much. I have every right to hate her, too. Sorry, beard's looking a little shitty because, again, sickness. So. But no, seriously. It's so infuriating, dude. When you know these people are criminals, when you know the crimes that they have committed, and yet they still are not being removed from office. You know, sometimes you gotta start out with that weird ass Southern drawl, man. I'll tell you what. You know, sometimes it does get to that point. When you got me going in a weird Texas Southerny, Oklahoma, Alabama, Arkansas, fucking Ohio accent, it is an issue at that point. Sorry, I'm not doing very good right now. Yeah, voice is all messed up. But nah, like, you're darn tootin' that she needs to be tossed out of office, man. Because honestly, what these people have done here has gotten us to the point of no return. And, you know, as I've said before, I don't want there to be violence. But honestly, with the way things are going, with the way that they are pushing, there's going to be violence. It's just going to happen. It really is. You know, they're probably going to be the ones that start the shit in most cases. And then they're going to sit there and act like they're the fucking victims, dude. It's exactly what they've done since 2020, honestly. Where they sat there and they wanted to fuck around and, you know, do a bunch of shenanigans and everything else like that. It's a bunch of crap, dude. And actually, even going back to Russo here, man, because I'm going to go to Wikipedia right now for a minute with her ass. Even going back to this. I didn't even realize her first name isn't Allison. Her first name is Catherine. Catherine Allison Russo. Of course she's a fucking Karen. Of course she's a Kathy. American healthcare consultant. That makes it even worse, by the way. And Democrat politician currently serving as the minority leader in the House of Representatives. Russo represents 24th District, which, by the way, she won by default because there's nobody else in the fucking race, man. Which includes portions of Columbus as well as Grove City, Hilliard, Upper Arlington, the richest neighborhood in Columbus area, and Worthington in Franklin County. Worthington's also kind of a ritzy neighborhood as well. It's Upper Arlington and Grandview are the two richest places there, which represents pretty much all that shit is what it is now. When they redid the district and stuff like that, it's basically Upper Arlington and Grandview area. Said Russo was Democrat primary nominee in 2021, 15th Congressional District, special election. Again, right there, she should have been tossed out of office because she was running for higher one. Faced off against Republican candidate Eric Yella in the general election in 2018. Was elected by 57% of the vote, flipping the seat from Republican control to Democrat control. Yeah, because they literally made it a fucking Democrat seat at that point in 2018, dude. 2020 successfully defended her seat against Republican Pat Manley, increasing her win by 1%, 58% of the vote. And then again, won here in 2022 by default is what it was, dude. Because they're all like, yeah, it's so gerrymandered blue. Why the fuck would we even run here, dude? We have no chance. Russo serves following committees: Health, State and Local Government, Finance Subcommittee on Health and Human Services, Families, Aging, Human Services. And then talks about her thing against Mike Carey there. That's about it. But yeah, she is so fucking hateable, dude. And the worst thing about her is, right, she still has another term before she's termed out, dude. I thought she was a fourth termer this go around. She's only a third. Because she would have been 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. Or no, wait. Yeah, so it would be 2026 is where she would have been thrown out then by terms then. I didn't even realize that then. So that means that she was a first-term state rep when she introduced gun control into our state house, dude. So yeah, she should have been in prison right then and there, dude. For real. When you are actively using the Dayton Massacre to push your Bloomberg fucking bitch-ass gun control because you're literally a fucking paid puppet of Michael Bloomberg. Nah, bitch, you need to be in prison right now. Seriously. Fucking bullshit. And I guarantee when you start looking into her and who's paying for her congressional campaigns, it's Bloomberg in every town. It's Planned Parenthood and everything else like that. It's all these special interest groups, dude. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. We need to ban special interests in this country, dude. Period. that there should be no outside funding by special interest at all in any kind of race at a state level. And there should be, honestly, corporatized donations and stuff like that should be banned too. Because that way, none of these Democrats would ever get into office, dude. You would have no money. You would basically have to run a campaign on like $100 or whatever the fuck you can afford yourself if that be the case, dude. And maybe that would make better candidates at that point, dude, because it would allow people like me as a grassroots candidate to actually have a chance to get in office then. You know, that's the biggest reason why I wasn't able to run for 2022 here for governor. I did not have the ability to actually get enough votes to even get on the damn ballot, dude. Or have the fucking money to even afford to run in the damn race. And that's a huge problem right there, dude. Especially when you have the Republican Party basically being all establishment people is what it is, dude. It's a bunch of bullshit. So, anyway. I'm pretty much just over it, man. And like I said, just watching these piece of shit Democrats commit insurrection acts the other day and not being called out for it is absolute bullshit, dude. I'm going to jump on Twitter for a minute here and see what's up here. So that's interesting. So that makes sense why they did the late night hearings last night and stuff like that. So it should be the 21st is when the Ohio General Assembly actually goes out of office and stuff like that. 22 hours ago, Ohio House Dems. Good morning, Ohio. Today is likely the last day of the session of the 134th General Assembly, and Democrats will stay fighting for you until the very last minute. No, you won't, because you're a bunch of fucking pieces of shit, dude. By fighting, what they mean is they'll be fighting against everything that was great about the state of Ohio, actually. Let's see. Got Blair White 17 hours ago. Look how the media attacks you when you dare to fight pedophilia. Blair said, I am trans and have to wake up to multiple hit pieces calling me anti-LGBT. That's fucked up, dude. That is fucked up, dude. That's pretty disgusting in general. Let's see. Yeah, apparently Trump's going to make a big announcement at some point today. I assume I know what it is at this point, honestly, dude. It's probably going to be him saying who his VP pick's going to be for 2024, be my assumption right now. Because I think he pretty much already announced he's going to be in 2024. There's running for president then. So. Actually, that's an interesting one that this John Cooper guy brought up. So if Trump announces tomorrow, meaning today, this was 10 hours ago he said that, that he is running for House Speaker, will Kevin McCarthy challenge him? Because for those who don't know, actually, you can have somebody be Speaker of the House at a federal level that is not actively in a political seat of power. It doesn't have to be an actual representative and stuff like that. It can just be like every man or whatever the case be. It would just be if that person wants to be in that position of power or not. So, that being said, I think the last time that happened was like 100 plus years ago, probably, or more even, probably more like 200 years ago, honestly. Because ever since like the 1900s, somewhere in there, it's usually always been like a member of Congress and stuff like that. And by Congress, I mean House of Representatives, obviously. You know, we call it Congress. It's actually House of Reps, and then you got the Senate, because it's all part of Congress, is what it is at the end of the day. Anyway, let's see here. Rittenhouse 12 hours ago. What happened? Talking about Biden. What happened to you? Your understanding of what a marriage is. This Taylor kid said, I can't believe the American people can't see through this. Marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on there? That was Biden back in like 2006, 2004, something like that. That was when he was a U.S. Senator, and now he's donning the White House in gay rainbow colors, apparently, for the pride flag. So, pretty fucked up, man. Pretty fucked up. See, we had Josh Hawley 13 hours ago say, nice that Mayor Pete had time to take vacation in Europe while forcing rail workers to go without sick days. Yeah, that came out the other day about Pete Buttigieg took Euro trip to Portugal at height of labor negotiations with rail workers, participated virtually in key meetings from his vacation. Like, what the fuck, dude? Again, how is that not an immediate removal from office at that point, dude? Like, you're an appointed transportation secretary. How the fuck are you still in that position after that, man? Like, get the hell out, bitch, and kick you out is what it is. And we got teacher says she holds a GSA, Gender and Sexuality Alliance Club, during class time to keep it discreet from parents who won't approve. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why the state of Ohio is passing parental rights legislation right now. Because of fucking piece of shit cunts like this who have no business being in our fucking school systems. When I talk about blackballing people, dude, from the actual education system, these are the fucking sick pedophile pieces of shit I'm talking about right here, dude. Bitches like this that are goddamn insane. And going back full circle to what I said about an hour ago, these are the motherfuckers that Trump should have had locked the fuck up in 2018, dude, in mental institutions where they belong. Seriously. That is the worst thing ever happened in this country, was not locking up fucking nut jobs like this, dude, who are clearly mentally ill and are pushing literal gender and sexuality shit at small children because they know that the parents wouldn't approve of the shit. Fucking disgusting, dude. Fucking makes me sick. Makes me want to fucking puke, honestly. And we had Cyndi Lauper come out in support of Biden's bullshit here. Fucking idiot, old, over-the-hill singers. See, Firearms Policy Coalition. Today, in a lawsuit we're watching, a judge denied a motion for preliminary injunction against Rhode Island's ban on magazines holding more than 10 rounds, calling it common sense public safety legislation that violates no one's constitutional rights. Yeah, pretty sure that judge is paid for by Michael Bloomberg's money. Maybe you should, I don't know, fucking disbar them on the spot. Just saying, man. Just saying. Then we got 17 hours ago, Ohio Senate President Matt Huffman recognizes Don Parsons for 11 years of service to the state of Ohio and Ohio Senate GOP. I believe that's one of the guys that's now going to be out of our General Assembly at the end of the year. So, actually, what else is going on with the Ohio Senate GOP? See if they have any other things popping up here right now. We'll go to the Ohio House thing a little bit ago here. Okay, let's see. An hour ago, today, the Ohio Senate passed a bill to create a significant grant program for families making the commitment to adopt children who are waiting for a family to call their own. Awesome. 8 hours ago, the Senate passes AM House Bill 554. Let's see, what is that one about? Let's see, 554. Jesus Christ. Was a Mary Lightbody Adam Byrd one. Let's see, legislative text. Senate Primary Committee, Secondary Committee. What the hell does this actually do, though? It's not telling me what it does. It appears to be a bipartisan bill for education, maybe. Can't really tell on that one. It's hard to grip that one. Senate bill passes House Bill 66. Let's see. Require reporting / review of property tax exemptions. Okay, so that was that one. Actually, going back to 554 here. Require insurance of certain temporary educator licenses. Okay, so that actually is, again, like I said, teacher related then. Let's see what else we got here. House Bill 150, which was establish Ohio Public Defender State Loan Repayment Program. Okay, so people that want to become public defenders can get some kind of payment or something, probably is what it is on that one. My guess, if I'm actually going to read that, I'm not going to read it right now, though. Let's see, 462, which was prohibit swatting. Nice. About fucking time, dude. I wish I could have talked to him about that one. I'm actually going to talk to my state rep here in the next couple of days about introducing something in 2023 for like one of the first ones to basically make doxing a felony in the state of Ohio after what happened to me 6 months ago. So, anyway. Then we got 151, which was replace Ohio teacher residency program with local mentorship. That was done by Don Jones, who is a Republican state rep. Had a bunch of Republican co-sponsors on that one. Then we had Teresa Gavarone, who was actually the co-chair of the committee where 357 was at the other day. The dude handing her that book is current state senator Bob Peterson, who's going to be a state rep in the 2023 General Assembly. And as she said, I was surprised with a touching gesture by outgoing Senator Bob Peterson. He presented me with a copy of the Senate rules that's been passed on for many years, first by former Congressman Steve Shivers, former Senate President and current Auditor Keith Ferber, Peterson, and now Gavarone herself. Interesting. For those interested, she's going to be the, I believe, Senate Majority Whip. I think that's what it is. So she'll be like third or fourth in line in the next General Assembly here in Ohio. So, yeah, I plan on having a lot of contact with her in the coming year or so, dude. Because I even called her out on that stuff when she was talking about this earlier. I actually sent her a message there, and I was like, how about you do your job and impeach Matt Dolan finally then? So, anyway. She never did get back to me yet, but it's whatever. Let's see. We got Senate passes House Bill 487, changing the bidding process for contracts for ballot printing. Interesting. House Bill 279, revising the law regarding wrongful death claims by providing additional clarity to the law. Let's see. Passes House Bill 35, permitting mayors to solemnize marriages anywhere in Ohio. So if you're a mayor in the state of Ohio, you can now perform marriages, apparently. That's just funny. Let's see. Senate passes Senate Bill 148, establishing the new African Immigrants Grant and Gift Fund. The fuck? The fuck is that bullshit? Oh, of course, it's fucking Vernon Sykes' fucking ass behind that shit, dude. Jesus fuck. By the way, this is vote buying. Fuck them for passing that shit, dude. When you look at who's behind this, is Vernon Sykes was the primary, and it was every fucking Democrat as a co-sponsor, and then it's scumbag motherfucker Kirk Shearing is the only Republican on this piece of shit, dude. That's why it got passed, by the way, was because Kirk Shearing's cunt ass is on this fucking shit, dude. And people wonder why I was trying to run against Kirk Shearing in the state Senate race, and I would have been able to had it not been for social media censorship, because I could have actually got on the damn ballot then and run that motherfucker out of the fucking General Assembly then. But yeah, that fucking piece of shit legislation there 100% is vote buying, dude. Let's see here now. Let's see. Senate passes HB 575, modernizing fraternal benefit society solvency regulation by providing additional tools to ensure that vital providers remain solvent in the state's insurance industry. Man, that is really, yeah. I don't even know what the fuck that does. My assumption is it basically allows for people to have more insurance, people is what it is here, or something like that, dude, to have better insurance coverage, maybe. I don't know. That'd be my guess right now. See, they passed HB 569, creating the Ohio Hidden Hero Scholarship. House Bill 392, which is authorize ambulance transport police dog injured in line of duty. So literally save the doggos is what it is that get shot by criminals. The fact that it even had to be a piece of legislation is kind of sad, actually. Then we got House Bill 353, enacts the Test Your Faith Act, requiring each state institute of higher education to adopt a policy providing students with religious accommodations. That's going to be a good one, honestly. Then we got House Bill 343, updates and synchronizes Ohio's crime victims' rights laws with the Ohio Crime Victim Bill of Rights, ensuring constitutional protection and rights for crime victims will be fully enabled with workable statutory provisions to achieve justice and due process for victims. I believe this was the one that had to do with rape cases in the state of Ohio for a bunch of guys who were raped like 40 something years ago in the Ohio, at the Ohio State University and stuff like that. So, because apparently there was like a statute of limitations of like 15 or 20 years or something like that to stop that from being a thing. And now it's going to be forever, I think, if I'm not mistaken, how they were doing it now. So, which is how it should be. There should be no statute of limitations on rape or murder for that matter. So, we got Senate passes House Bill 107, which modernizes the current statute to increase safety, transparency, and accountability in the operation, installation, and ongoing maintenance of elevators throughout the state. That's good, because I know that's been an issue in a lot of places actually, especially in like Cleveland area and stuff like that with apartment buildings, with people being like, "Hey, our elevators are broken, like they need fixed," but nobody's fixing them. So hopefully that'll actually get shit done, and if that be the case across the state, then we got House Bill 558 improves access to life-saving medications, creates the drug reciprocity program for donating prescription drugs designed to allow Ohioans to better utilize charitable pharmacies in Ohio, both cutting down on drug waste and improving access to life-saving medications. I'd like to point something out. I actually had to do with that bill unknowingly because when my uncle passed away in the last year, there was a bunch of drugs that he was on in the last days of his life that they were just going to toss in the trash basically after his death. And I specifically called up my state rep and a bunch of other state reps, and I was like, my uncle recently has passed, and there's all these drugs that could be used for somebody else's, end of life care and stuff like that. Like, why aren't we using these things? So, yeah, I'd like to say that I actually had to do with that bill right there. I never actually wrote the legislation, but I did, propose it to him as what it was. So I would like to take some credit for that actually being a thing in passing then. But anyway, continuing on, we got Senate passes House Bill 254, improves the response to domestic violence, creates a pathway for counties and regions to establish domestic violence fatality review boards throughout the state. Tailored to meet each county and region's needs, this bill will improve the response to domestic violence and work to prevent domestic violence fatalities. You know what else helps prevent domestic violence fatalities? Carry a fucking gun and use it. Like, seriously. We have stand your ground and constitutional carry for a reason, people. Use them. Anyway, so the Senate passes House Bill 513, providing tax relief for tobacco wholesalers, permits wholesalers to receive a refund for cigarette and other tobacco and vapor product excuse taxes when a provider fails to pay the wholesaler and the account becomes uncollectible. Also provides local regulation of tobacco and alternative nicotine products. Interesting. Then we had Hoffman represents a resolution to Senator Jay Hotner, thanking him for leadership in the House GOP in service to Ohio. Hotner is also out of office in the year here. And we got, for 28 years of legislative work for the people of Ohio, thank you, Senator Jay Hotner. Again, this is why we don't have career politicians. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. There's that scumbag Kenny Yuko. That's one of the fucking like 7 or 8 Democrats in our state house right now. Or sorry, state senate right now. So yeah, and then we got Hoffman recognizing piece of shit Yuko, calling him a dear friend and true statesman. Fuck you, Hoffman. Dude, I really hope there's new leadership in the Ohio State Senate. And then next year, dude, and Hoffman needs to be the fuck out of it, is what it is, dude. If it wasn't for Hoffman's ass, you wouldn't have even had 357 go to any committee hearing at all, dude. Because he allowed that fucking bullshit anti-gun crap to be sort of shoved through, and thank God we called him out and voted the fucking shit down, is what it is. Let's see. Yeah, and there's that fucking scumbag Dolan who needs to be tossed out of our General Assembly, dude. And of course, he's sucking Yuko's dick during that time. Fucking asswipe. All right. Looks like that's about it then. Yep, looks like that's about it then. Oh, for those interested of what Stephanie Coonsey looks like, this is a picture of Stephanie Coonsey right here. This is the chick that's bought and paid for by Bloomberg dark money. That claims to be a Republican. So, yeah, she's a scumbag rhino. Just like most. And let's see what else we got here for the last couple of days. This was on the 13th. Senate passed Senate Bill 251. Enable students to work during school year. Actually, that's an interesting one. This is one I was actually talking about to some people last night. So we can now have 14 and 15-year-olds in the state of Ohio work during the school year, after school and stuff like that. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Yeah, sponsored by Tim Schafer and Tina Maharoth, who's going to be out of office at the end of the year, which is kind of funny. Allows a person under the age of 16 to work after 7 p.m. during school year with parental consent. I guarantee you it wasn't Maharoth that actually made that shit. It was probably Tim Schafer, actually, dude. That was mostly the primary on that one. And there's a little Timmy Schafer right there. This dude is actually, like, from what I've seen personally, he's like semi-pro 2A. And I say semi because, like, he could basically be wish-washy on it. He was cool with voting down stuff recently that was pro 2A, and he was also cool with putting Terry stops in the constitutional carry this year. So, you know, there is that. Then we got, let's see, House Bill 501, providing reforms for local government. Need reforms for Ohio's townships. Senate passes 458 House Bill, which is, let me go ahead and grab that real quick here. Let's see, 458 would be limits when a political subdivision or taxing authority may hold an August special election and makes reforms to further ensure fair and accurate elections. So basically election integrity legislation. Good for them. Good for them. Good on that is what it is, dude. Let's see. 423, recognizing significant events and designated important days, designates the All-American Soapbox Derby as the official gravity racing program of the state of Ohio. Bill also creates Burn Awareness Week and Ohio Polluter Week. It's funny. Designates Ulysses S. Grant Day, Ohio Public Lands Day, and Eugene Gene F. Kritz Day. I feel like that was a guy that was like a known dude or something at some point, like one of the old governors or something back in the day. That's cool that they're giving Ulysses S. Grant a day then. That should be pretty cool. Burn Awareness Week. I'm gonna start doing sick burns during that week, dude. On people. Obviously, burn awareness would be don't start forest fires in the state of Ohio, essentially is what it is, because that's what people are talking about. It's like the dry season here in Ohio. This is a picture of Nathan Manning, by the way, for those that don't know who that dude is. He was one of the guys that was running for re-election this year. When I called people out of the finance committee the other day at like 1 a.m, he was the one that I told straight up, I'm like, dude, don't let this be make sure 357 gets voted down in committee. Don't let this be a stain on you just getting back in the state Senate right now, dude. In this last election cycle. See, then we got 405, updating appointing authority, makes changes to the appointing authorities to certain county hospital board of trustees. Interesting. Then we got House Bill 364, which does, let's see here. What does it actually say it does? Updating waterworks infrastructure improves the application process for waterworks infrastructure, allowing companies the ability to address needed quality and safety improvements on the ongoing basis. So basically getting rid of old lead pipes and shit like that is what they're talking about with that legislation. And I'd like to point out that most of these Democrats that were bitching and moaning the other day literally live in major cities where they drink lead fucking filled water that also has a bunch of forever chemicals like estrogen inside of it, dude. And then you wonder why they're all fucking psychotic is what it is. Let's see here. Then we got increasing water safety. House Bill 178 enacts McKenna's Law to limit the amount of pressure that goes through Ohio water features. I'm trying to remember who that girl was. I feel like she was one of the ones that died here over some shit. I'm gonna go look that up real quick. McKenna's Law, Ohio. Let's see. Limit water pressure at splash pads, spas, pools, and water parks across the state. Also requires owners of water establishment areas to make the flow rate does not harm people or exceed 20 feet per second. Okay, let's see what the local thing here says. This is from June 2021. Said, citing dangers at Ohio water parks, Milford mother advocates for McKenna's Law. Kim Marion traveled to Columbus Tuesday, more than a year after her young daughter was badly injured by a water sprayer. Okay, that's what happened then. So that's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing for a minute so I can re-screen share here. So for those wondering what they're talking about with splash pads and stuff, this is what they're talking about, is all those water jets and shit that pop up in different places during the summer. Apparently it fucked up some little kid like a couple years ago then. Probably during 2020 lockdowns is my guess. So, yeah, I'd say it's a good piece of legislation then, for sure. That way your kid's not going to be, shot with a big old jet of water and get fucked up from it is what it is. So, anyway. But, let's see, going back here to the Twitter for the Ohio Senate GOP. Continuing further down, got Senator Tim Schaefer urges support for Senate Resolution 259. Crude oil, natural gas, and coal resources is apparently what that is. See what anything else I want to talk about here. Oh, okay, that's Rob McCauley, state senator right there. Nikki Antonio bids a fond farewell to Bob Peterson, calling him a solution-seeking conservative, a pragmatic policymaker, and a charming farmer. By the way, Nikki Antonio is the only lesbian in the Ohio General Assembly. That person behind her kind of looks gay too, to be honest with you, dude. With that weird-ass haircut going on. The person in the glasses there. But, yeah. And the thing about Antonio is, dude, she loves to talk about the gayness. Because typical identity politics, when you don't have anything else to stand on, you stand on that bullshit is what it is, dude. So, see, then we got a bunch of other people getting their farewells to the thing. Okay, that was from Tuesday. All right, let's go to the Ohio House here and see if there's anything we want to talk about from that side of the ship. Okay, that was not what I thought it was. I thought that was the actual Ohio House, not the Ohio House Republican Alliance. So, shit, let's see here now. Let's see, Ohio House GOP maybe is what I'm looking for right now. There we go. That's what I was looking for right there. Because they have the other stuff here. Let's see, Ohio House passes, this 3 hours ago, passed Senate Bill 16 by a vote of 57 to 19. Change provisions regarding assault and menacing committed against first responders, so cops, EMTs, etc. Then 4 hours ago, passed Senate Bill 33 by a vote of 56 to 32. Expand the income tax deduction allowed for contributors to Ohio's 529 education savings program. So that'd be teachers and stuff like that, would be my guess, honestly. Let's see. Passed Senate Bill 164 by a vote of 76 to 9 to revise the law and penalties associated with companion animal cruelty. For those who don't know what that is, that's basically Goddard's Law. That was one I actually was hoping they would actually increase then. So basically what Goddard's Law did previously, it was a felony in the state of Ohio. The problem is, as a felony, it was only like a 4th or 5th degree felony. which you can basically get probation for. Whereas Senate Bill 164 will now make Goddard's Law way better, and it's now like a first and second degree felony, and it's actual prison time then for these people that are abusing animals and shit. So yeah, don't be beating dogs in the state of Ohio anymore, assholes, because you're probably going to go to jail for a long ass time if you do. But yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. Ohio House passed House Bill 50 by a vote of 73 to 10 to revise state governing medical identification devices and name it this act Page's Law. I think that was one of the girls that died from not having like a heart monitor or something like that. Ohio House passed Senate Bill 288 by a vote of 79 to 7. Make various modifications to criminal justice reform law. I don't like how that sounds, man. Like, there's like, I don't know, unless it's something like what we passed here when we were voting the other day, where it's like, yeah, you can get like better, like larger bail sums for people that are a bunch of criminals and shit like that. Like, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But yeah, don't be trying to do like bail reform shit, dude, is what it is. I don't think it will be because it is, Nathan Manning, and he is, pretty hardcore right is what it is. So anyway, then we got Senate Bill 302 by 65 to 22 to revise the unemployment compensation law. Senate Bill 202 by 64 to 24 to prohibit a disability from being used to deny or limit parenting. I'm super happy that one passed, by the way, because it was pretty much scumbagging, disabled fathers and mothers and stuff like that from having like equal parenting and shit like that, which now they do because of that. Ohio House passed Senate Bill 131 by a vote of 81 to 3, require occupational licenses if experienced in another state. Good. Let's see, Senate Bill 63 by 82 to 1 allows a board of county commissioners to authorize a county department of probation to accept payments by credit card. I don't know why they weren't already doing that, honestly. Let's see. House Bill 572 by a vote of 85 to nothing requires Department of Aging and Medicaid to establish programs to provide payment to residential care facilities that have residents who are assisted living waiver recipients. So basically, if you're indigent, or what do you call it? Indigent, whatever it is, where you're like super poor and can't pay for anything, is what it is. So anyway. Let's see. House Resolution 862 by a vote of 89 to nothing observes the month of November as Military Family Month. Interesting. Ohio House passed House Bill 645 by 87 to 2, authorizes operation of remote dispensing pharmacies. I wonder who the two that voted against that were. Honestly, I would love to know those votes, dude. Because you got to be like the scumbags at that point, dude. Let's see. House Bill 675 by a vote of 65 to 24 prohibits the superintendent of insurance from prohibiting certain forms of solicitation of Medicare supplement policies. Let's see, Senate Bill 278 by 72 to 2 designates Ohio Burn Awareness Week. Let's see, Senate Bill 259, 74 to nothing, to add a member of the Paralyzed Veterans of America organization to the Veterans Advisory Committee. In fact, that wasn't already a thing. It's kind of a slap in the face to everybody. Let's see. Ohio House passed Senate Bill 210 by a vote of 70 to nothing to establish post-nuptial agreements and to allow spouses the ability to make changes to such agreements. Huh. Interesting. So instead of prenups, it's postnups. Let's see here. This was back in December 1st. We had Senate Bill 199 to revise guardianship trust law, and other estate-related laws. Same day, we had Ohio House pass Senate Bill 185, 555 to 22 to protect firearms rights during an emergency and delegate certain emergency powers when suppressing a riot, which sadly, the scumbags in the state Senate, when they redid this by adding in the thing about first responders that aren't cops having mandatory vehicular homicides be an automatic charge or whatever for the person that did them, they voted it down. The only person that voted for it was Najee Antoni. What is MILF Island? Sorry, I just saw that in the side chat. I'm like, MILF Island, what the fuck? I'm gonna have to check that out here in a minute. Actually, let's go check that out right now while I'm sitting here. Let's see, MILF Island, European poem. MILF Island. Oh, okay. People are talking about 30 Rock and shit like that. See, TLC Network, welcome to MILF Island. 8 hot moms leave home for a chance to find love with men half their age, but they're greeted with a shocking twist. The new series premieres January 15th at 10 p.m. on TLC. Like, this crap and fucking I Am Jazz and all the other shit like that, dude. Like, come on, bro. Jesus fucking. Like, you're supposed to be the learning channel, TLC. What am I learning by watching a bunch of chicks wanting to bang a bunch of young dudes? Nothing. It's just fucking trash TV is what it is, man. Fuck me, dude. Wow, I didn't realize we've gone almost 2 hours now. I didn't expect it to be more than an hour, honestly. I got shit to do right now before I go to sleep, so yeah, we're gonna wrap this one up here in a minute then. And like I said, it's a bunch of shit, honestly, that you have Democrats trying to fuck with our elections, fuck with our representatives, etc. there, dude, because they're just a bunch of whiny bitches that don't actually have any say in the state house. And it's like, well, there's a reason for that. And it's because you're all a bunch of psychotic loons on the left, you Democrats. Maybe if you weren't a bunch of fucking nuts, and a cult for that matter, we wouldn't have these kind of issues, what it is. If we just left Ohio alone and let us be the red state that we've been for like a decade now, it wouldn't be an issue anymore, dude. But no, you want to sit there and bitch and moan and act like you have any fucking power in this state at all, dude, when you don't. You don't, you never will. We're sick and tired of the shit, and we're done with all of it, man. Actually, before I finish up today, this is actually a pretty interesting one. Going to the FTX scammer guy, the dude that was doing the crypto shit. Donations from embattled crypto scammer Sam Bankman-Fried rocking Chicago's race for mayor. Said longtime Democrat strongman Jesus Chuy Garcia just jumped into the race for Chicago mayor, and while polling shows he may be a frontrunner, he recently disclosed donations from FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried is threatening to upend his early lead, as it should, man. Like, you're literally taking fucking donations from a scam motherfucker, dude. There's old fucking Beetlejuice herself. God, she is fucking ugly, dude. It saddens me to know that Lori Lightfoot is actually from the state of Ohio originally. Like, she was born in the state. But yeah. And there's obviously old Chewy's ass. Dude, that guy looks like fucking El Chapo a little bit. Like, seriously. Like, what the hell, bro? Why are all Democrats scumbags, dude, for real? Like, they really just all are. Anyways, the Chicago Channel 7 reported the latest polling finds Garcia in a commanding position on the outset of his campaign for City Hall. Lead might be in jeopardy when news of donations gotten from FTX chief, who is under threat of prosecution for by at least two countries. According to Politico's Illinois playbook, Garcia was the recipient of at least $200,000 in donations, and critics are painting the congressman as a corrupt, machine-style politician as the mayor's race heats up. Garcia found tall cash from at least two sources of Bankman-Fried's political donations and Democrats. Chicago-based congressman already tried to pivot away from the accusations and donated some of his Bankman-Fried cash to charity to get out from under the taint, under its taint. According to the block, Garcia gave away less than $3,000 to a Chicago charity last week. 3,000 of 200,000 is not that much, bro. So according to the Crane Chicago businesses, Garcia also received funds from FTX supported Protect Our Future PAC. Said the Protect Our Future PAC spent $200K for texting services and mailings for Garcia's campaign. Said sitting mayor Lori Lightfoot has run Chicago into the ground, of course, with the murder rate in particular skyrocketing. Lightfoot has encouraged lawlessness with sanctuary city policies that reward crime, and the murder rate might seem to naturally follow her policies. Said Lightfoot has also persuaded over the dissemination of the city's middle classes, not to mention its black population, and has driven the city to its standing as the third worst U.S. city for people moving out. I'm surprised it's not the top one, honestly. Makes me wonder what the top two are actually on that one. Said, but it is hard to see how Garcia would be any better for the Windy City. Garcia has espoused support for a long list of bad ideas that, if brought to Chicago, would speed the city's decline even faster. Jesus. Fucking hell, man. Let's see here now. Yeah, so Garcia has signed onto an expansion of the eviction moratorium that will cause more property owners to quit the city and limit the growth of the retail sector. He wants to co-opt the motor voter concept, a traditional idea, and use it for people living in taxpayer-funded housing and automatically register these residents to vote. Yeah, pretty fucking sure that's voter fraud, bro. That's at least fucking ballot harvesting at the very least, buddy. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Said, then there is Garcia's plan to give food stamps to millions of illegal aliens. You can get the fuck out of here with that, buddy boy. Of course, he himself's probably an illegal alien if that'd be the case, dude. How much you want to bet, honestly, this guy who's this chewy guy right now who's in his 50s there, how much you want to bet his parents were illegals in this country, dude, and he's an anchor baby in this nation from like 1960s or 1970s? I would not be surprised by it at all, man, if that be the case. Said 4th District Congressman has also signed onto one of the most radical open borders plans to hit Congress in years by adding his name to the New Way Forward Act, which would make it even harder to deport criminal illegal aliens, calls for the decriminalization of illegal immigration, and would even bring thousands of already deported convicts back into the United States of America. How are these people not at the end of something for high treason at this point, dude? Seriously. Like, I'm just going to leave it at that, man. Like, whatever happened to the gallows, you know? Like, seriously, bro. Like, you are actively committing high treason against the American people with that kind of shit, dude. And I'm dead serious when I say that stuff. Let me go ahead and I'm actually going to go ahead and look up the term high treason right now, and I'll tell you guys exactly what it textbook definition of it right now, dude. Let's see here. So going to even Wikipedia here for it. We got treason / high treason. Treason is the crime of attacking a state authority to which one owes alliance. This typically includes acts such as participating in a war against one's native country, which is exactly what they fuckers are doing right now, dude. Attempting to overthrow its government, again, what they're trying to do right now. Spying on its military, its diplomats, or its secret services for a hostile or foreign power, aka Mexico and everything else like that. Or attempting to kill its head of state. A person who commits treason is known in law as a traitor. Historically, in common law countries, treason also covered murder of specific social superiors, such as the murder of a husband by his wife or that of a master by his servant. Treason against one's monarchy was known as high treason, and treason against a lesser superior was petty treason. As jurisdictions around the world abolished petty treason, treason came to refer to what has historically been known as high treason. At times, the term traitor has been used as a political epithet, regardless of its viability. Treasonable action in a civil war or insurrection, the winners may deem the losers as to be traitors. Likewise, the term traitor is used in heated political discussion, typically as a slur against political dissidents or against officials in power who are perceived as failing to act in the best interest of their constituents, which is exactly what that motherfucker Chewie is a goddamn traitor, dude. In certain cases with the, don't know, pronounce that fucking word, some weird fucking thing, stab in the back myth, the association of treason towards a large group of people can be a unifying political message. Yeah, you're a fucking traitor, Chewy Garcia. Fuck you. Seriously, bro. You, sir, are a scumbag. You are a traitor, and you've committed high treason, sir. Fuck off. It's time to deal with this shit for real, man. We also got Jim Jordan demands big tech docu-series documents about censorship. That's what we need, by the way, right now. There was another one I was going to talk about here, but I don't think it's on the sidebar here, which is going to be about a guy and a girl who killed their kid. We also do have this guy, though, which is Wish.com. Robert Downey Jr. attacks armed driver at McDonald's, gets shot dead. So, yeah, there is that. There is that, man. Yeah, it's a 36-year-old Brandon Turner was shot and killed Sunday about 8:30 p.m. in Port John, Florida, after he allegedly attacked an armed driver at a McDonald's parking lot. Yeah, they have stand your ground there, jackass. So, said Turner allegedly walked with the driver as he sat in his car eating and began attacking him. Driver managed to grab a gun he kept inside the vehicle and fired one round, striking Turner. Turner was transported to a local hospital and pronounced dead at the hospital. Local affiliate noted that the conversation on police radio as law enforcement described the incident. We got a caller on the line advises that they had shot someone, that a male came up and started punching him in the front seat of his truck, so he shot him in the chest. Brevard County Sheriff's Office believes Turner confused the McDonald's customer for someone else. Did he, though? Or was he just trying to fuck with somebody and steal their vehicle, potentially, even, dude? So, I don't know. Just saying, man. You know, that's what needs to happen to criminals, though, man. You fuck around, you're going to find out, bro. It's really simple as that at the end of the day. So, anyway, that's pretty much where we're at for the day. You know, we've been here for over 2 hours now, and I know I'm running out of time on this fucking account for the month, so I'm going to have to switch accounts pretty soon. I got a couple others that I can do, but yeah. Needless to say, you know, like I said to begin with in this episode, it's time for every Democrat currently in the Ohio General Assembly to be arrested over what happened the other day, and for every misdemeanor and felony crime that they've committed in this General Assembly for the past 2 years now, and be done with it, honestly, at that point. And if they're not going to do that, if you're not going to have the cops in the state do that, then it's time for the Republican-controlled 135th General Assembly come January to throw out every single Democrat from the General Assembly the first day of office. And I mean that seriously, dude. As soon as you get sworn in, toss them the fuck out. And just spend the next week doing that shit, honestly, if you need to. Hell, I don't even care if anything gets passed in the next 2 years in the state of Ohio, as long as these criminal-ass Democrats are gone from our state house, dude, and replaced with much better individuals. Because until that happens, nothing's going to change. You're going to keep having these people bitch and moan some more, and bitch and moan some more, and then be like, oh, my dishes, but and it's like, no, fuck you. Fuck you and fuck off, dude. And honestly, I would say when they toss the Democrat Party out potentially with the lockstep shit, then you introduce legislation after the fact as 67 people to make a one county, one rep piece of legislation. And from there, you simply dwindle down the numbers across the board and just have a special election that way is what it is, dude, in 2023 then. Because that would be the best way to do it, honestly, dude. Which would mean that you would have Stolfist going up against Jim Thomas. You know, who's to say who's going to win that one? And you would have literally 10 Democrats and a Republican going against each other for who's going to represent Franklin County then. And that's what needs to be said about the end of the day, dude. You know, enough is enough of this shit, dude. It's fucking stupid to have 11 in Franklin County, to have 9 in Cuyahoga County, to have, 7 or 8 in fucking Hamilton County, to have 4 or 5 in Montgomery County where Dayton's at. It's ridiculous. When you have 30-something seats of the Democrat Party in 4 or 5 major cities across the state, dude, enough is enough of this shit. There is a reason why when you look at the maps, dude, why you can just even look at the 2022 midterms and fucking see when it comes to the state of Ohio, go back to this right now. and you actively see how fucking red this state really is, major city, major city, major city, major city, major city, blue, 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 and then a couple around them are blue, and then one down here is fucking blue. So if you're to go by that particular logic, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Democrat seats for sure than our state houses what it would be, dude. And then you would have, who's to say how many Republicans then? And how many independents and how many third-party people as the other 80 people in the fucking state house then, dude. But that's where you would have true representation for once is what it would be. You wouldn't have all the scumbaggery bullshit going on, dude. You'd have people actually fight for fucking seats, not just get in by default in a general election because you're the only fucking person on the ballot, Allison Russo. And I'll even call you out, Reggie. You were the only person on that fucking ballot, dude. Or any of these fucking people, dude. It's stupid to have fucking 8, 10, 12 people or more. And I think it's closer to 20, honestly, in our state house right now that won a single person general election, dude. No. Fight for a fucking seat against somebody else. Have the better candidate win. That's what a true constitutional republic is all about, dude. For fuck's sakes, dude. And it's really simple as that at the end of the day. So, anyway, like I said, that's pretty much a wrap for the day. I'll be back at some point here. Probably, today's what, Thursday? Probably tomorrow for Friday. I don't know if I'll do a 2A cast or not. If I do, it might not be around the, middle of the day or whatever. It might be more like at night, that Friday night or whatever. Like 10, 11, 12, into Saturday morning maybe even, for that matter. It depends. There's some 2A stuff I want to talk about, but there's a bunch of other shit too as well. I started watching Rick and Morty this week, actually. It's a weird show, man. A bunch of people have been telling me to watch that cartoon for years and stuff I don't know if it's really cartoon or more like anime or whatever, but it's there's a bunch of people that tell me to watch that for years and stuff like that. I'm just nah. And then eventually I was just bored the other day. I found a site that had it on there and they were just started watching some random episodes from the current season and then going back and watching some of the other ones. And I'm yeah, this show is fucking weird, man. It's funny though, but it's definitely when I say weird, I mean weird isn't oddly raunchy and stuff like that. And I could see the fan base for it, honestly. But on the same token of things, I could also see it being just it's not for everybody for sure. I can tell you that right now. It's probably my generation is more the people that would watch it, honestly, than, say my mother's generation or something like that. Or my father's generation for that matter. And yeah, it definitely has its own fan base for sure. And I'm not going to lie, it's just odd. But I could see why people like it, And I could definitely see the parallels between that and potentially Back to the Future is what it is. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to catch up on the rest of the season of that at some point in the next day or so, and then go from there. But yeah, other than that, like I said, it's a bunch of shit to see fucking people literally bitching and moaning and trying to stop a General Assembly from doing its actual work right there by having a fucking hissy fit is what it is. And I don't blame Brian Stewart at all for calling these hoes out is what it is, dude. It's no, shut the hell up and leave the fucking state house, dude. If you're not going to be there to have anything positive to say, you're just going to chant stupid bullshit, you don't need to fucking be there. That would have honestly been the people that were the medical freedom folks who were trying to get the state to be reopened in 2020, actually being able to get in the state house, which, by the way, was locked. The fucking doors were locked to the outside of it is what it was, dude. If they'd been able to get in there and be open the state of Ohio, open the state of Ohio, how much do you want to bet you would have had state police escort them the fuck off the premises, dude? And again, this is the kind of shit that we're seeing. And then meanwhile, you have these fucking Democrats just being allowed to do shit is what it is, dude. It's just ridiculous. Especially fucking Tammy Wilson, who was running against Jim Jordan earlier this year, dude. Like, the fact that she's sitting there filming the shit, filming these fucking people's crimes, and isn't arrested for that, and everybody else that was on video wasn't arrested for that, is ridiculous. Like, nah, man. Fucking slap some cuffs on these bitches and fucking teach them why they don't have voting rights in the state ever again is what it is, dude. When you give them fucking felony charges for shit. Seriously. Be like, oh, you're gonna try. You wanted to run for Congress and you failed, and now you want to bitch and moan about it. Okay, guess what? Well, now you're gonna get arrested for fucking Insurrection Act stuff, or at least like criminal trespass stuff, or whatever the case be. And then, yeah, that's the end of that stuff, is what it is, dude. And she can't run for office ever again, is what it'll be then. So it's really not that hard, man. You know, honestly, like, do what needs to be fucking done, bro. Do what needs to be fucking done. So, yeah, I'll be back at some point, though. Like I said, I might be doing one of the My Day is Your Night streams again. You know, that was fun last night with Corey and Chris Reed and stuff. So, we might do that again at some point in the future. You know, maybe this weekend or something. I don't know. It depends. I'll tell you right now, if Honda ends up not doing something, I might do something like Christmas night or something, if that be the case. I don't know if he's planning on doing a stream on Christmas Day or not, because obviously he's got, you know, family that he's going to be hanging out with, and I know NEA is going to be down there hanging out with them too as well. So I don't know if they'll do a stream that night or not together or not. So if they don't, though, I probably will go live then at some point then, like on the 25th, which is a week from Saturday. So, but or no, week from Saturday, week from Sunday. No, sorry, it's a week from Sunday. So yeah, if they don't do something on that day, I'll probably go live on that Sunday then. Or if they don't do like a Christmas Eve stream or something like that, I might go live on 24th then, if that be the case as well then, and just do like a panel. Whoever wants to be on there for a little bit or whatever. Depending. I don't know. I don't think we're going anywhere for Christmas this year and stuff, so I should be home then. But yeah, I don't know. I need to talk with some people before I make commitments like that, though. But as far as I'm aware, we're going to be home for that time period, though, because I don't remember anybody saying anything about us going anywhere and doing anything with that extended family or anything like that. So, but yeah, I'll definitely be having a very Merry Christmas for sure when it comes to you know, knowing that we got gun control voted down and stuff like that in that stupid fucking committee for finance and shit. And then it'll basically be come the new year, it'll be getting right back up again. And basically starting to do stuff at a state level again then. And hopefully here in 2023, I'll actually get lobbyist stuff done if that be the case. That's what I'm hoping for Ohio Patriot Education Network in 2023, is to become a lobbying group at the State House and hopefully have like some proxy people for us down there in Columbus area that would just want to join, that would essentially want to come on as like our go-to staffers just to go down there and testify for shit and whatnot under the OPEN moniker and stuff. But other than that, that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. And like I said, it's pretty ridiculous when you have these morons that don't understand the constitutional republic, people like Tammy Wilson, who wants to talk about this is what a democracy looks like, and it's like, you're in a constitutional republic, you dumbass. If this was an actual democracy, you would have been kicked off the island long ago, lady. Like, seriously. Your ass would have been voted off the fucking island like day number 1, pretty much, is what it would have been. So, but yeah, anyway. Yes, he was actually. Well, I mean, it's hard to say actually. So what happened was, it was back in, I think, like 2015 going into 2016. You had Vance basically come out and he was talking about, this is back when he did like the Hillbilly Elegy book and stuff like that. And he was discussing things from like his own perspective of like, yeah, you know, growing up poor and becoming like essentially like self-made millionaire and stuff like that is what it was. And he was talking about Trump in different fashions and stuff like that, and being like, yeah, you know, Trump is not the best candidate at the time or whatever the case be. And there was something taken out of context where it was him saying something along the lines of like, you know, I'm about to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton or whatever the case be. And I think his thing was, it was basic, like it was basically like a whole longer piece of context stuff where it was, I want to say the entirety of that video was he was basically saying neither one of these candidates are worth voting for is what it was. And we needed to have like a third choice or something like that. And yeah, he was definitely not for Trump to begin with, but then during Trump's administration between 2017 and, you know, 2020 and stuff like that, I think it was around like 2018, 2019 when Vance actually saw what Trump was doing with the economy and everything else like that. He finally got on board and was like, yeah, you know, this dude actually was like legit about what he was saying about, and, you know, actually kept the promises he made on the campaign trail and shit like that. And that's why people during our election cycle there, they kept always trying to shit talk JD Vance and be like, oh, well, JD Vance was an anti-Trumper and all such. It's like, dude, 90% of the fucking people in the race were at that time. Matt Dolan was the biggest anti-Trumper on that fucking candidate list for Republican Party, honestly, dude. Like, he was a piece of shit in general. And, you know, he's the asshole behind this gun control and stuff like that, dude. And then people were like, okay, you know, Vance actually is the best candidate for this fucking race, and that's why Trump actually eventually endorsed him, is what it was. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they actually had a convo at Mar-a-Lago or something like that over a holiday season where they had legit sit down and dinner at one point before the 2022 election cycle here. And yeah, I think that's when he actually I think it was not long after that is when he finally endorsed JD, is what it was. So, but yeah, needless to say, you know, I voted for JD Vance because he was the best candidate in this race. And I had no problem casting my vote for that man. Now, that being said, you know, when we have a new Senate come into place and stuff like that, if he's going to sit there and scumbag like Rob Portman did and, you know, fuck over our gun rights and just lie to our faces and stuff like that, I'll call his ass on that, dude, and tell him to go fuck himself then. And I'll be like, dude, I voted for your ass. Like, you just fucked me over, buddy. Like, fuck you, dude. Kind of thing like that, honestly. And yeah, that's the entire point, is I have no problem calling these people out for the shit that they've done, dude. And it's like I said the other day when the grandstands, when people were talking about, you know, you know, loving the country but hating the government is not, you know, patriotic or whatever the case be, which is an absolute lie, by the way. It 100% is, dude. We should always have a, you know, strong disdain for our government at this point, dude, because if you fucking love your government, you know what you are? You're pretty much a statist, bro. And I'll tell you right now, I ain't no statist, dude. I am a patriot in this country. I love this nation. I hate the fucking government that wants to sit there and take away our freedoms and do all kinds of unconstitutional shit they have no legal authority to do, is what it is. And it's as simple as that, honestly. And if people have a problem with that, then that's their problem, man. And I'm going to keep doing work here. I'm going to keep putting in the work. I'm going to keep putting in the hours. I'm going to keep, you know, chipping away at stuff. And I'm going to get our rights back one at a time, is what it is, man. And I'm going to keep preserving the rights at the state level here. And I'm going to hopefully push for better constitutional carry, better stand your ground in the coming General Assemblies. And I'll tell you right now, when the 135th Ohio General Assembly does come into the thing here, if they don't kick out Democrats and they just want to fuck around or whatever the case be, that's fine. But I will be telling everybody, and I will be calling up everybody, especially the new people that are in there as first termers, the first few days in their office is what it is, and being like, bro, this is a piece of legislation from 2 General Assemblies ago. Introduce it again and have it be the better version of Stand Your Ground. There is zero reason at this point in 2022 going into 2023 for the state of Ohio to not have a piece of a Stand Your Ground legislation that does not allow for civil persecution against people who have to defend themselves against criminals. There is no reason for a victim to be victimized twice. if I have to stand my ground against somebody and that person lives and tries to sue me, or their fucking shit family tries to sue me, that's bullshit, dude. That should never be an option. And the fact that I have been told that they did not have the votes in the 2020 General Assembly, in the 133rd General Assembly, without watering down stand your ground to take that portion of it out, which no longer makes it stand your ground and just simply made it expanded castle doctrine, is absolute bullshit. If people were not on board with an actual piece of stand your ground legislation, they don't even part of the General Assembly is what it is, dude. And that's what I'm saying. You know, boot the Democrats out, bring some new people in, and then boot all the fucking corrupt ass rhinos out too, man. And it would be as simple as that, honestly. And that's really where we're at for the day, is what it is, dude. You know, if you got scumbag motherfuckers that want to keep watering our shit down, no, they don't need to be in our General Assembly anymore, is what it is. Pass the legislation as it was written, dude. And for God fucking sakes, man, make Ohio a Second Amendment sanctuary in 2023. We do not need fucking federal anti-gun law bullshit that is completely unconstitutional, fucking with our constitutional rights at a state level. And don't even get into fucking telling me that federal law trumps state law. That is absolute bullshit, dude. The 10th Amendment was written for a fucking reason. It allows for states to go at the fucking federal government. No, your shit is unconstitutional. You know what else trumps fucking federal law? Marbury versus Madison, 1803, dude. Any piece of legislation that can be looked at as unconstitutional should be looked at as if it was never written to begin with. Not that hard. Fight that shit in court on that, dude. The fact that no pro-Second Amendment organization, state or federal at this point, has fought any gun control under Marbury versus Madison is a slap in the fucking face to me and everybody else for that matter, dude. And that is why, if and when we finally get a lawyer on our side here pretty soon, and we're able to bring that lawsuit against the city of Columbus, Ohio Patriot Education Network will directly fight that fucking anti-gun shit in Columbus on Marbury versus Madison of 1803. Because fuck Andrew Ginther and fuck the fucking city of Columbus and fuck that piece of shit Franklin County judge who should be disbarred at this point for breaking the sworn oath they took to office and putting an injunction against our preemption law. It's bullshit, dude. It's absolute fucking bullshit. No part of any of the anti-gun shit that Ginther and company has passed right now, dude, is any kind of constitutional, and it directly breaks preemption law. And it's as simple as that. And now that we're at 223, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day on that one, dude, because why not make it the rifle caliber of all the guns that they seem to want to ban now? So, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all in the next one.